Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today on this bright Monday evening where Arsenal have picked up another 3 points and Crystal Palace have failed to do us all a favour. Thank you very much, Palace. The banter sticks with us for the week. Cheers. I was watching that Crystal Palace Arsenal game and thinking, Palace, please, just please. If not, we're going to have to go till Friday with this, oh no, look at Chelsea, After it was Man United the day before, we took the baton and we are still running with it. We were hoping we could pass it on to Arsenal, but no. We got to talk about this very briefly. There'll be more detail of all of these games that took place on the weekend tomorrow over on Shootout. Myself and George Benson's brand new football channel, link in the description. Make sure you are there and subscribe so you catch our review for the entire weekend. And we go over where we went either right or wrong for our predictions. So make sure you're there for that. But there's a big three now. It's funny. They're being called the big three. Ha ha. Very funny. It's amusing. Whoever came up with that, you should do stand-up. Yeah? We've got Brighton on 6 points. Goal difference of +6. We've got Manchester City on 6 points. Goal difference of +4. And we've got Arsenal on 6 points. Goal difference of +2. So they are the only ones now after 2 games that still have a 100% record. I think that's pretty insane when you think about it. 100% record after 2 matches. Only 3 teams have a 100% record left. That is pretty crazy. But goes to show how competitive the Premier League is. And unfortunately, Chelsea are 15th. We don't need to talk about that. I don't know what you're talking about. But currently, Brighton sit top and Man City and Arsenal are doing what's pretty much expected of them. So let's see if they can keep it up and if they can keep it going. But Chelsea, for example, look, I'm hoping our season starts against Luton on Friday. How does that sound? Yeah, and then we can pick up some wins. That would be great. I don't think we've won a football match in like 6 months. It feels that way. Since the whole Lampard and Potter times. And can we please move on from the suffering? Anyway, that's the latest in terms of the Premier League. As I said, make sure you're catching all of my reaction from tonight's game over on Shootout and the whole Premier League weekend as a whole as we go over that. Now, let's get to the Chelsea stuff. But before we do, I want to let you know, if you want to make sure that you are here catching all the content as it drops, with all of my thoughts and opinions as it's coming in, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. On top of that, don't forget to check out the socials. They are right here on screen for you right now. They are ready to be clicked on in the description, so make sure you hit those links, give us a follow, and enjoy. That goes for my personal socials and Younes Talks Football socials, so enjoy them. Now, let's get cracking. Chelsea have made a signing. Yes, we've signed someone today. I know. It feels like it's been ages since we signed someone. When was the last time we signed someone? Friday? It's been 3 days. It's been 3 whole days since we signed someone, man. 4. When did we sign Lavia? We got Lavia on Thursday, didn't we? Yeah, it's been 4 whole 24-hour days since Chelsea signed someone, man. That's a lifetime for us. But lo and behold, it's not gonna stop. It's gonna keep going on. Let's get to the latest. Here's who Chelsea have signed. Check this out. Exclusive, George PETROVIC to Chelsea. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place with New England Revolution on a €16 million deal. Medical test booked on Wednesday for the Serbian goalkeeper, who's going to compete with Robert Sanchez. We have bought this guy. Yeah, very excited. Now, here's the thing. I asked a lot of you in terms of this goalkeeper. What's he like, right? And I have to be honest, considering that it's the MLS, but I have to be honest, a lot of you in the comments were saying, no, you know what, in terms of his attributes and his traits, what he brings height, he brings dominance, he brings good ability in the air, he brings good shot stopping, it seems like, in terms of what he's received in the MLS. Now, the one thing that I want to take into consideration here is a goalkeeper in the MLS might actually be a good idea. Why? Because the defences in the MLS are so open that the goalkeeper's constantly under pressure. So if he performs well, you know he's actually playing well. It's not like the Premier League where you might have a defence to protect you, cover you up, and you don't really have to move an inch, Different. Petrovic, 23 years old, is originally from Serbia, went over to New England in 2022. Unlike Slonina. Now, this is where I've seen the comparisons, and I sympathise with it at first, but now I'm thinking, okay, I can understand what Chelsea are trying to do. So we aren't buying a goalkeeper that's going to come in and just be the number one. Although we got Sanchez in, we've let go of Kepa, now we're bringing in Petrovic. But some people have called for Slonina. Why get Petrovic when we can just use Slonina? There's a 4-year age gap, and you have to bear in mind, Petrovic came from Europe, went to the MLS, and is now coming back. Slonina, born, raised, American. Born and bred in the American League, born and bred in the MLS. That's all he's done, and he's 19. So there's, I think, more development that needs to be done on that aspect alone compared to a Petrovic. And why? Because whether we like it or not, and whether Messi or 50,000 Messis are playing in the MLS is not at a level that's going to provide the players for you right now. At this age, if they're 28, 29, so maybe you might find the odd player, right? And hence in the past, we've had Americans that have come over here and they've done well. I mean, we've seen Tim Howard, we've had Clint Dempsey, we've even had Pulisic, but Pulisic's different. Pulisic was playing in Germany. But what I mean is players that have come from the States over here. What's it? Brad Friedel. Who remembers Brad Friedel? Who remembers Brad Friedel? If you remember Brad Friedel, you're an OG. You are an OG. Cue all the 17-year-olds watching now going, Brad who? Google. Man, when Brad Friedel existed, we didn't have Google. I feel old. Anyway, let's get into this with Petrovic. The rest of the news in relation to this deal, 60 million euros. So this is the thing. Even in terms of investment, it's cheap. 60 million euros is about 12 million pounds. Piece of cake. So we're going to have these two compete for each other now, Sanchez and Petrovic, for the number one spot. And then later on, we'll see what Slonina does. But I do want to say, if this is how we are right now, I don't think we're moving for a goalkeeper for maybe the next 2 or 3 years now. Minimum. Because it's going to be a battle between Sanchez and Petrovic. Whoever gets number one gets number one. And then we ride. The one good thing about Petrovic that I like is that he's extremely tall. So heights, issues with heights should be out the window. Issues with long shots should be out of the window. Because this guy's, what, 1.95 m, I think? Tall geezer. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we can work with Petrovic and to see what goalkeeper he actually turns into. Hopefully this is a case of really good scouting. Because we have to be honest. Sometimes we want to go for the big buy. Then sometimes we want to call for good scouting. We can't have both. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be one or the other sometimes. And this is a case where I hope it's just really good scouting. So fingers crossed Petrovic comes in and does really well. Welcome to Chelsea, Mr. Petrovic. You're going to love it. And let's see who gets number one. Who do you think is going to be number one? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's move to what we discussed earlier on. At least we're going to give some updates in relation to the number 10 position. Fabrizio Romano had this to say. Chelsea's priority is to sign a player who can play number 10 and also on the wing. And I have to quote what Goldberg has put in the in the comments here. It's absolutely it's true. That is Ryan Cherki. But I have to come on here and tell you what the situation is with Ryan Cherki. It's not the case of I don't think Chelsea don't want the footballer. We all take the footballer. There has been a raised concern of discipline. Whether this guy can actually listen and do the job that's required. Now, Ryan Cherki, I'm not surprised. You know, I understand the background he's come from. I understand the environment he's come from. We've always seen countless examples of players that are ballers, but they let themselves down when it comes to listening and getting on with the job, or just, you know, putting in the hard graft where you have to and listening to what the manager tells you to do. Some players just don't have that ability. Some players are absolutely fantastic on the ball, but you try and give them an instruction, they're like, what? Later. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't have that risk. And unfortunately, Ryan Cherki looks like he is of that mould. As I've said, we've seen examples of those sort of players in the past. We've seen Adel Tarabt. We've seen Ben Arfa. We've seen these sort of guys before. Trust me, I know. So, it is what it is. But it's true. In terms of the profile of player, he fits the bill perfectly. Who will Chelsea go for? Who can play as a 10 and also as a winger? Now, we're going to come to one target that we thought we could possibly hijack, but it's not happening. We'll get to that later. But talking about the number 10 position and who is now having to leave that position because of injury, and now we have to go out and see who we're going to get to replace him, it's Carney Chukwuemeka. Now, I said in the review, I'm sure I did, that I feel he's going to be out for a long time. And I stick to that. So we've got Bobby Vincent, and we've got also one of the doctors that I've shown you on this channel in the past, giving us a brief eye test, you can say. A brief diagnostic or diagnosis based on what he has just seen. So it's very, very high level. It's very light, but we'll get to it exactly. Here's the latest from Bobby Vincent on Chukwuemeka. Carney Chukwuemeka has had a scan today. Initial fears a MCL injury. More news soon. It's something bad in his knee. Let's just call it a spade. A spade's a spade. It's something bad in his knee. Now I hope that it's just maybe pain that was, present on the day and now it's gone down and the damage isn't actually bad. But let's go to what Dr. Rajbal Brar had to say. This guy is a well-renowned doctor in physical therapy, is in the sports science domain, so he knows what he's on about when he sees injuries by sportsmen or sportswomen, is a fitness and movement coach, but ultimately he's a sports scientist, and this is where we get an actual professional opinion on what we reckon the injury is. So here it is. Just now looking at the Carney Chukwuemeka was travelling injury. No great view, but believe it happened during this challenge. And he referenced to picture number 1. Goes on to say, leg gets caught with knee, going into a deep bend, flexion, and some internal rotation with momentum. Hard to see if any significant side-to-side movement at the knee. He grabbed at the inside of the knee immediately, as he did in pick 2. And then again after he went down after playing on, in pick 3. Where you can see him laying down holding the inside of his knee. In post-match, limited weight bearing and unable to extend or straighten the knee. Pick 4, which you can see he left on crutches and was unable to straighten the knee or put any weight on. Based on that, my first thought would be a meniscus injury, potential bone bruising. Hard to say on ligament due to limited view. Awaiting testing and more info. Hoping for the best. Was just finding his rhythm. I think he couldn't have summed it up any better than that, if I'm being completely honest. But when you can't put weight on a knee, it's such a bad sign. It's such a bad sign, because when you're in the game, and you feel pain, it can happen. But that pain normally should wear off if it's just a knock or it's just something minor. When you've done damage and you can't put any weight on the knee, it's a case of this knee is, I don't want to say completely damaged, but there's something significant there. It is what it is. So I'm honestly, look, if we somehow get Carney back in 5 or 6 weeks, I am laughing. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're in the same situation as we are with Nkunku. I would say potentially worse. Let's see though. I hope not. Let's see. So let me know your thoughts. This is why Chelsea now need to analyse what they're going to do in the whole number 10 position. We have to address it. It has to be addressed now because we ain't got anyone else. Nkunku and Chukwuemeka are out after the first 2 matches. Nkunku gets out in the first one, Chukwuemeka gets out in the next one. God forbid what's going to happen on Friday. So let's wait and see. Now, the latest on a player that was meant to be leaving, then wasn't, then is, then isn't. And now we're just like, okay, what's going on? Although he wanted to fight for his place, and now we were thinking, okay, he's going to stay, no problem. But now we're hearing this, so let's get into it. I spoke about Spurs' interest in Conor Gallagher earlier in the window. They like him a lot and something could happen here. 3 or 4 others also keeping an eye, with West Ham holding long-term interest. I don't want to make this sound like a good thing. It's not a good thing. But Chukwuemeka's injury might have just saved Gallagher's place at Chelsea. Because now it's a case of, okay, yeah, we try and get another number 10 in or whatnot. But say we don't, Gallagher's got an opportunity. And you can't take it away, because when you look at the midfielders that we have and who is best suited to go into that or fill in that position if we do have to play in that role, it's going to be Conor. So this is where Chelsea, I feel like, look, I think the ultimatum is this. If Chelsea end up buying an actual number 10, I think Gallagher's out the door. If we don't, I think he's here to stay. So let's see what's going to happen. Are we in the last 10 days of the transfer window now, I think? So it's going to get interesting now. These last 10 days is where things are going to get heated. So it is 10 days, right? I'm sure. Transfer window shuts September 1st. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might actually... No, you know what? I'm going to look this up right now. Transfer window closes... if I'm able. Yeah, September 1st, 11 p.m. So 10 days left. You could say 11. If we're counting the extra few hours, you can say 11 days. It's going to get interesting now. Chelsea need to fix up where they need to fix up, and then we go. So let me know what you think is going to happen. Let me know where you see Conor Gallagher. Is he going to end up at Chelsea, or is he going to end up elsewhere? Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, before we wrap up, we're going to look at what's happening elsewhere. Big news. Now, this is what I was referencing to earlier on. Here's Manchester City's news, and it's a done deal. Jeremy Doku to Manchester City. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place after new bid revealed here this morning. Worth €60 million package. Medical tests being scheduled later this week. Personal terms agreed on a long-term deal. Exclusive story revealed August 1st. Confirmed. It looks like they've got their Mahrez replacement. So there we are. Man City have got Doku. This is, I have to be honest, at first when I saw the link, I thought Chelsea might hijack it. And then I began to think, nah, it's not going to happen. And rightfully so, it's not happening. He's going to Manchester City. And you know what? I think he's going to fit in like a glove. I think that right-hand side where they seem to be lacking a little bit. I think when you look at the avenues that Manchester City play down at the moment, on the left-hand side or even down central, in the middle, whether they go via Grealish or whether they go via Foden or whether they go via whoever's there, able to get the ball to an Erling Haaland or to the final third. The right-hand side is where they don't really pay much attention to, and they have to compensate by using Kyle Walker to bomb all the way forward and become that extra man. Whereas with a Bernardo Silva when he was playing, or Riyad Mahrez when he was there, they had someone there. Now they got someone. Great. They've replaced. So they're well equipped. Manchester City, definitely back on their terms. And the only thing that's standing out is KDB's long-term injury. And are they going to try and get someone in to replace KDB for that time, or are they going to use what they have? I think they're going to use what they have, and I think it's sufficient enough. But this Doku deal, I think, is a good one for Manchester City, and definitely helps to spread out the play even more and even more evenly. When you look at, as I said, the left-hand side, the middle of the park, and now the right-hand side, they're able to distribute across all sections, and it tactically helps them because now they know, opponents know that, okay, that we know the right-hand side isn't as weak as it probably was compared to all the others. We're not going to be marking just these guys. We're going to have to mark all over the place, and then you're going to spread yourselves out that way, and Manchester City will end up taking advantage. So Manchester City doing a good piece of business, I reckon. Let's see how he does. Let me know your thoughts down below. Doku to Man City is a done deal. And to wrap up, poor Kate Abdo. Kate Abdo on CBS, fantastic as far as I'm concerned. The CBS commentary team, or the CBS pundit team, best punditry in football, hands down, with Kate Abdo, Micah Richards, Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher. I think it's absolutely fantastic, right? Absolutely fantastic. But it looks like we're going to have to say goodbye to one of them, and it looks like Kate Abdo's close friend, should we say, has got himself a job. Here it is. Thierry Henry has been appointed as new coach of the France under-21 team. Contract until 2025. He's taking care of the squad for the 2024 Olympics and Euro under-21s in 2025. Thierry Henry. Good luck to him. I think this is a great move for him. Much like we saw Frank Lampard is taking charge of the England under-21s, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be something to keep our eyes on. I'm not sure if it's been made official yet. I don't think it's been made official, but it's coming. But Thierry Henry going down the same route. I feel like it's correct for these players, these old players that are now retired. They want to get into coaching. They want to get into management. They're going to have to take these steps. They have to. In the modern game, it's very difficult to just perplex yourself all the way to the top and go, yeah, I know everything because I played it before. It's not how it works anymore. It's gone so far forward and it's developed into a science. Coaching has developed into a science. You can get degrees in this now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy the amount of detail that there is now towards management, sports science and coaching in a whole bubble that you have to pick up on every single level. That's what the top ones do. So Thierry Henry, going step by step after it didn't work out for him when he went to Monaco and was the assistant at Belgium and all of that. I think he's taking the correct route now. You're young, take it bit by bit and let's see where you get to. But Thierry Henry losing the slot on CBS, which means that this whole dynamic that we saw and he was an integral part to that is going to vanish, it's going to disappear. So Let's see how they manage without good old Thierry. Let's see how Kate Abdo manages without Thierry. I think it's going to be quite sad. But Michael Richards gets ridiculed a little less, so that's probably good for him. But anyway, Thierry Henry, under 21 French boss. Let me know your thoughts down below. And that wraps up video number 2. We will be here tomorrow for another couple of ones where we'll see exactly what's happening leading up to the game on Friday, as Chelsea will be kicking off the next match day weekend on Friday night, Chelsea versus Luton. You'd think we get 3 points, but make sure you catch all the build-up on here and also on Shootout, as we will give our thoughts and opinions leading up to that weekend and also on the weekend that has just gone by. That video will be up tomorrow, so make sure you guys are there for that one. Link is in the description. Make sure you are subscribed and following, much appreciated, and make sure you are subscribed over here to catch all your latest Younes Talks Football. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Don't forget to smash the like button. If you have enjoyed this, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down below. As well as that, catch the socials, Instagram, X, and TikTok. They are on screen for you right now once again, and they are in the description. So hit all of those links, give us a follow, and enjoy. And I will see all of you tomorrow, where we see what happens leading now into the final 10 days of the transfer window. When is it going to end, and how is it going to end? We'll find out pretty soon. But all the build up, and as it goes on, I'll give you my thoughts, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you then. Have a good one. Take care, and peace.